Samsung is laughing. The iPhone 15 series is on its way, and as usual, who do you call for display innovations? It's always Samsung. Apple doesn't like this and they're actively working on not to depend on Samsung. They can't make their display yet, but it is expected to happen in 2024, but still, they wanted to find the solution, and well, out comes BOE, a company that Apple has selected to make the OLED display for the iPhone 15s, but they have yet again failed to meet the standard. According to South Korean media ELEC, the iPhone 15's OLED display from BOE has a light leak issue on the panel, which is why Apple has called Samsung to step in and save the day. Because of this, Samsung is now making display panels for not only the Pro iPhone 15 series but also the non-Pro models, and this is gonna double Samsung's pocket. It takes about $500 to make a current-gen iPhone, and out of this, the display has to be one of the most costliest component out there, which is why it makes sense for Apple to look at cheaper alternatives or perhaps one day make their own screens in the future, but for now, they are still dependent on Samsung. Also in the news, Apple has made a pretty genius move on the iPhone 15 Pro series. As we know, the iPhone 15 Pro series will have pressure-sensitive buttons, and unlike physical buttons, they won't work when the phone dies out of battery. Well, apparently Apple has fixed this by adding a new low-energy chip that will always keep the buttons powered up even when the phone dies, so you can turn it on. The implementation of pressure-sensitive buttons has to be the biggest change in iPhone's design since the iPhone 10 back in 2017. Speaking of this, as we know, the classic mute switch is going to die and it's going to change into a pressure-sensitive action button. Apparently, this button might be user customizable to any action, which is a pretty good feature that I already love on my Galaxy S23 Ultra. I can customize this button to my liking depending on double tap or holding the button, so I definitely see this as a positive change, but it doesn't sound very Apple-like, so take this info with a grain of salt. They might just limit this action button again to only what they want, which is what iOS is all about. Now, a lot of people have concerns about how these pressure-sensitive buttons will work with a case or when someone is wearing gloves. To fix that, Apple is going to include a new toggle in iOS 17 in the settings, which will allow users to customize the sensitivity of the buttons according to the case and their user scenarios. I have to say, this has definitely increased the interest in the iPhone 15 Pro series. I really want to see how this thing will actually work when the phone comes out, but let me know what you think about today's news in the comment section below. Subscribe if you're new. With that being said, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.